Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will learn how we can send C# application logs, I mean to say, which will be generated by serilog, by the way, to the Elasticsearch. In the last video, what we have learned, we were directly sending the logs to the Elasticsearch, but that approach was like a not a good one. If we see at a very high, like a bigger picture level, like when we have many microservices, and we want to, our logs are like very crucial to us. So what happened, like in, let's say if your Elasticsearch node is down, you will lose your log itself, and there is no way to get it back, right? So that's why we will go with the another approach. That is like when we will be creating logs, a serilog will be generating logs. We will be saving into a JSON file instead of directly sending to Elasticsearch. So for that we'll be using two component, filebeat and the Logstash. I'll be showing by the three approaches, by the way. So best is like you have, let's say if you are working in a multiple microservice architecture, so where we'll be having each microservice will be deployed at one node, and let's say and each microservice will be having its own one file beat, so that it will be completely listening or like monitoring that particular folder where the file will be log files will be generated, and then it will be sending to the one log stash, just like I'll send you this the best one. So you like so multiple application will be sending to its own file bit, and those file bit will be sending to one logstash, and logstash will be sending to Elasticsearch, and that's how we will be able to see in the Grafana. I mean to say Kibana, my bad. All right, so but I'll be showing all three how we will be doing actually. This approach is like when we like not that good also, because the live file bit is a very lightweight component, but in case of Logstash, it's a heavyweight one. So if we have each service is having its own Logstash, it's going to be like it's like a unnecessarily will be killing the resource. So that's why this approach is not good. It's best is this one. So you have one application, lightweight file bit, which will be looking for the or monitoring the log file, and then it will send to one centralized Logstash, and that will end up sending to Elasticsearch. There is one more way is also there, like this one. So where you don't have Logstash itself. So each application is having its own file bit, and file bit directly sending to Elasticsearch. But the catch is here, when the logs are generated, let's say there will be some format of the logs, right? If the file bit is reading that file, I mean like this, like whenever there is a log change or any logs generated, file bit will pick the new logs and directly send to the Elasticsearch, but it will be sent as a message, I mean to say as a string. But if we send as a string, then there will be a like it's a little complex to apply a filter on that. It is not that easy. So that's where Logstash comes into the picture. What will happen whenever logs are generated, file will pick the file and send to Logstash, and in Logstash we can write a logic, to filter that, like create a multiple columns or something like that. Those filters will easily available in the Elasticsearch, and then you can apply. Let's say if you're like a lot of millions of logs are there, but if you want to search, you have to apply a filter, right? That's where Logstash plays a very big role. All right, so first, anyway, just for the demo, I will show you how to send directly logs from filebit to Elasticsearch. And you can see this my application, which is up and running, and it has the same get method which will generate some log. Okay, and the catch is this time, instead of sending directly to Elasticsearch, I'll be sending to this log folder. So you can see right now the size is 128 KB. Let me generate some logs. You can see it got increased, right? So that means this is the file which is getting appended all the time. Let me open and show it to you how it's going to look like. So it's like a so I am generating in a JSON format. The serilog is generating in a JSON format, the entire log. You can generate in a text. It depends on what you want to, I mean like in what format you want to generate. So I'm generating logs in JSON format. All right, and if you want to directly send logs from filebit to Elasticsearch directly, so you have to create one. Sorry, first you have to install this filebit from here. Once you download it as a file, unzip it, and then what you do, there will be one file called filebit. So I mean, I just renamed it, so you can keep the same name or you can rename it. Doesn't really make sense. I mean, like, it doesn't really make a big difference. In that you just need to tell the what is the input, from where it will get the input and where to send the output. So I am saying input will be a log type and the path is this one. I am saying a star, so it will pick all the JSON file in this logs folder. All right, and once that logs file it's able to find any like new logs are there or the file is updated, what you do, it will directly send to Elasticsearch, because my output dot Elasticsearch and host is this whatever I have installed. And there is a, if you don't put this these four lines, then it will be creating an index by default. So it will like having file beat underscore some like date month and that kind of metadata information will be there, and that will be the name of the index. But if you want to give a specific name uh, to this file bit index, then you can just say index, but it will work only when you have these three properties, inherited. So for you need to say like setup.template.name this and that, and then setup.ilm enable is equal to false. So that means you want to change the index name. All right, so once that is done, you will be able to send the logs from logs folder to the Elasticsearch via a file bit. All right, so let me stop this Logstash which I am running right now. You can see it's run stop now. This is my file bit which is also stopped now. And the third one is my Kibana which is up and running, so that's not a problem. I can show you my uh, Elasticsearch also should be running. You can see it's up and running, and Kibana is also up and running. All right, and you can see it doesn't have any index since I executed, that is why it's created. So let me delete them. Okay, so it's all clean. All right, so what I'll do now, let me, so when you will install this file bit, right, there's a on the readme page. So if you click on this file bit, click on, you can download any zip file that you, or depending on your OS, and then just scroll a little bit, and then this like this file we have, I'll just already explained you how you will be creating. And once the file is created, you just need to go into that folder like nothing but this one. Once you unzip, it will look like this. Create one file, and then this is the file, filebit.exe. All right, so they are saying filebit.exe hyphen e hyphen c and the file which you just created. All right, so let me give this. All right, so I'm picking this file bit Elasticsearch directly, that XML YAML file. I'll execute it. Now the file is I mean that file bit is up and running. All right, now let me go to Kibana and let's refresh it. So nothing has come because I didn't generate the logs. Now let me generate. So I have generated some logs. Hopefully it should be coming on the console also. Yeah, you can see it started reading. And let me go to Kibana. You can see the logs from filebit. That's the same name what I have given over here. Logs from filebit came over here. All right, let me create an index on it. Index pattern I mean to say. This process is all same, like I have already explained you in other videos as well. So just click on this discover, and you should be able to see this logs from filebit. Now the catch is here. So if you see, these are like completely, you know, completely a big message. It's completely one. There is no way you can apply a filter over here. So you can see there is no filter available. It's just one property called message here. You can see it has many, all are like a string. You can't put it. If you want to put it, like it will be like a little it's gonna be like very complex. So you will be saying a string, and what you need to do now, you need to add it, and then you will be like changing the entire JSON. Actually it's a JSON, so you have to change it. So filtering is not that great over here when you want to directly send message from file bit to the Elasticsearch. So that's where Logstash came into the picture. All right, so let me stop this file bit now. Okay, so for this, I'll just explain the file bit first things where we'll be sending the logs from like it will be picking the logs from logs folder and it will send to Logstash. All right, so input is same. There is no change in the input, but the output, yeah. So what we are saying, output we want to send to Logstash, and that this is the address where Logstash is up and running. I mean, it's not running right now. I will just execute it. And there's one extra information. There are many ways you can send some extra information. Just I'll tell you why I have added this, add text. So for example, let's say there are three microservices as I have shown you in this image. So if all are sending the logs to filebit, I mean individual filebit, but filebit is sending directly to his last, no, not this one, my bad, this one. So all file bits are sending to Logstash, and on Logstash is sending to Elasticsearch. Let's say there is a requirement. You want to create a different index altogether for each app. So how you will take that call? Because the Logstash will not be able to identify no until unless you tell specifically like okay these logs are coming from this place, right? So that's where, so whenever I'm reading any logs from any particular folder, it's coming to filebit. In since filebit is a directly dedicated, directly coupled to the application. So what I can do, I can just set a tag name. Okay, so let's say if this is the app, for example, in my case the app name is serilog log file web app, web API I mean to say. That is why same thing I'm saying over here. So that this is like a service log app name, that is like a key, and the value is I'm saying serilog, it's just like an application name. So if you have more than one file bit, you can have just this is the key which is going to be same, and the value will be changing accordingly. It's like in case of three application, you'll be having one, two, three. All right. I hope I'm able to make you understand. So this is very simple. Let me execute this file now. Okay, so now file bit is up and running. Now it's time to execute Logstash. So in my previous video, I have already explained you while installing the Logstash. Logstash configuration is basically of a three component: input, filter, and the output. Input says like from where we will be getting the input. So FileBit used to send the data to this Logstash, and then filter means I'll tell you in just a minute, and there's the output. So output we are saying I'm just adding extra filters. I'll tell you. So in FileBit log stack, right? I added one extra tag called this service log app name. I'll just copy this and search here. So I'm adding a if condition in the output. So first condition is this one: if the app name is there in this one. So that means like if you are having three microservices or three file bit is there, you can have three if conditions. Each will be going to its own index. Just to make you understand, I have still created three. So let's say if the name is coming like a service log file web API, then this will go in, all the logs will go into this one. But just before this if condition, I'm still having it like a main if condition. If doesn't really matter, no matter what, or like which file bit is sending the logs. If logs is of error type, right, directly send to logs underscore error underscore logs. This is separate, dedicated. This is like these like just to make you understand how you will segregate the logs, right? That is why I have created three if condition. If there are no errors and it's still like a debug or whatever it is, then search for this application level and send to its own services. So for example, whenever the logs are coming, let's say if somebody didn't set this tag itself, right, forgot to set the text, then where it should go, it can directly go to these other logs. Simple, right? Now I'll explain you filter why I have added. So for example, let's say you want to do some customization in the JSON what you're reading, right? So for example, let's say I'm saying what is the source. Whenever any data sent by file bit to the logstash, it's like a string. I told you as like a one message. So that we are reading as a message, and the target it will be represented as a log. That means log is a key which is going to hold the entire message. All right. Now in serilog there is a one catch. It doesn't whenever you generate log in JSON format, it doesn't set the label is equal to information. It sets for debug error and warning, but it doesn't set for the information. So what I'm doing, I'm adding a if condition over here. So I am saying that since the variable, the key message will be in this variable, that means like log. So I'm saying, and then whenever you generate logs in, I'll just show you log format so it will be clear to you. One second. This one I can open. Yeah, it's here. Can you see this property at the rate L? That is nothing but error label. Oh, sorry, log label. Log label is error. So what I'm saying, log dot. If you go back to the file of Logstash, I am saying this is the key which will hold the entire message. So log, and then inside you will be having all the basic properties of this log, which is nothing but these. Then I am saying log dot at the rate. This is the format of your. This is the way you will be writing. So you will say log. If you have any inside nested property, then again you have open close square bracket and say at the rate L. If it's not equal to null, then you take whatever is the value. That means if error, debug, or warning, set the same value, but change the property name to at the rate label so that L will be easily L. We don't know what is L, right? So we are creating a new property in that entire message. We are saying at the rate label, and this will be value will be filled automatically. But if it's null, then it will come into else condition, and there I am saying at the rate label is equal to information. By default, I am setting to that value. I hope you got it. So this is a like a method you have to use add field. Let's say I added this extra property called add label, but sometime you want to remove that. Why to duplicate it, right? So you might be thinking of removing this at the rate L. So in that case, you can use something called is there remove fields. That property you can use. For that you can go and check their documentation. So it's there. All right, now it's time to run Logstash. So I'm running Logstash filebeat. Usually it takes around 2 to 4 seconds uh, to start it. Okay, now it's up and running. You can see it's listening on the port number 5044. If I go to Kibana, this is like old one, so I'll just go and go to indexes. Let's see. So it's a old one, logs from filebeat. It's a old one, and right now you can see the 24. It's a document total. I mean total logs are there. Now if I create now logs, new more, I mean fresh new logs, you can see right now it's 175. And let me generate some more logs. Okay, so logs are generated. You can see it's able to read, and it might have pushed already to these. Yeah, you can see all the messages are raised to Logstash, and Logstash might have sent to Elasticsearch. Let's go to Elasticsearch now. I'm into Kibana. You can see this like so in the entire log, like when I executed the get API, it was having one error message, and whatever remaining message went to the logs from file. Sorry, this is the application name. If I go back and show you, so in the entire logs there was one error, so that's why it went to error logs, and remaining went to, because all are sent from this application, so it went to this serilog log file dot web API. All right, so let me create index on that. Okay, there is one more left. Okay, index are created now. Let's go and discover. So this is the old one. I'll just go and first show you error message. I have to refresh this. Okay, by mistake this filter is there, so I'll remove the old one. You can see there is only one message which is over here. Now if you want to see this lev label is there, since we already segregated like all errors will come to this index, that's why it's having only one type label type, and you can see it's here. and there's the message. If you want to see the message also, what is the error, so you can click on and add this field. My bad, it should be log dot. Yeah, so error in get, and what is the error also, we can add that filter also. For that I need to see the message, then only I can apply filter. So message error is, yeah, this is the exception. So I will be saying logs.x at the rate x. Yeah, so divide by 0, that's the exception. I hope you are able to understand I mean, what's the big role Logstash is playing, right? I'm easily able to apply the filter on it because all the keys are available on the left side. All right, let me go to a different index now, which is application level, and it's holding all the remaining. So if you go and search for label now, label, it might show like information, debug, all are there. So let me click on that. You can see, let me remove this one. You can see information is there, debug is there, all kind of informations are there. And if you want to see also message, then you just simply say message, not this one. You simply say, I think log dot. Usually, like we always used to see here and then, click on that variable. So that is the right way of doing that. So for example, let's say if I say, let's say I want to print this username. So I will simply say here username, and let me close this. You can see this column got added and I can see all the usernames are here. I hope it's clear, right? That's all about this video. Thank you very much.